Good evening and welcome to NewsNight. Tonight we'll have all of your international, national, and local news. I'm Ruthie Light.
And I'm Juliana Brock. Hear about the causes and effects of Trump's recent and ongoing executive actions on government organizations and state legislature.
And the Pittsburgh primaries are coming up in May, but for now, we have brand new stickers and a chief of staff. Learn about what sticker style and who resigned.
All this and more coming up on NewsNight.
On Saturday, February 8th, Lebanon Prime Minister Nawaf Salam announced the formation of a new cabinet made up of specialized ministers in hope of eliminating Hezbollah's presence in the country. After a meeting with President Joseph Aoun at Presidential Palace, Prime Minister Salam said that the government needs to ensure security and stability in Lebanon to achieve desired reforms, and his new cabinet is the, quote, only path to rescue the war-ravaged and crisis-ridden country. The ongoing war, which started in October 2023, greatly weakened Hezbollah as Israel diminished its top leaders and destroyed its military infrastructure. While this may be true after the ceasefire's 60-day deadline expired and Israel refused to complete the pullout of its forces from southern Lebanon, Israeli officials argued that the Lebanese army has been slow in redeploying and Hezbollah still maintains a strong military presence in areas constricted by the agreement. Currently, Israeli forces still occupy parts of the southern Lebanon and continue to launch airstrikes, destroying houses and demolishing border villages. However, Prime Minister Salam pledged to vote on Israel's withdrawal, quote, to the last inch of Lebanese territory, end quote. He also vowed to move forward with financial and economic reforms, emphasizing the need for establishing, quote, an independent judiciary, end quote. With Lebanon facing numerous internal and external challenges, the new cabinet will prioritize the ceasefire agreement with Israel, reconstruction of war-ravaged areas, the clashes that recently broke out on the Syrian-Lebanese border, as well as Lebanon's political, financial, and economic reforms. However, the Lebanese will wait until the next parliamentary elections in May 2026 for real reforms to take place. For now, though, the cabinet is looking forward to stop and prevent corruption with the hope that the next parliamentary elections will result in better representations to proceed with a full reform program.
Hundreds of small earthquakes in Santorini, Greece are causing concerns for the infrastructure of the island. The beautiful island that is popular for its views and tourism is now being questioned for its construction and the safety of the buildings. Geologists worry about the environmental and safety issues that were ignored when Santorini was being built up. Professor of Geology and former head of Greece's Earthquake Planning and Protection Organization, Dimitris Papanikolaou, said, quotes, they wanted to develop this island and didn't pay attention to environmental and safety issues. Nothing should have been built in this zone. It's a danger zone for as long as the seismic activity lasts, end quote. A state of emergency was declared last Thursday, shutting down schools and deploying the army. The Prime Minister urged for calm as landslide warnings were issued by authorities and hundreds have been forced to evacuate. Scientists have called for investigations into the landscape as there has been no serious damage, but scientists are not ruling out the possibility of a larger earthquake to come. The EU power grid has some new members after nearly 2 decades of planning to depart from Russian electricity. Learn about which countries separated with reporter Alyssa Mandrak. Alyssa?
Thanks, Jules. Former Soviet countries Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania officially no longer rely on Russian electricity. The transition into the EU power grid transpired on Saturday morning. This process is almost 20 years in the making as plans began forming in 2007. With almost 3 years of war between Russia and Ukraine, these countries have depended on their own independence as tensions do not seem to falter. Relying on Moscow for their electricity left these states susceptible to plausible retaliation by the Russian government. In recent years, the Kremlin has been accused of sending oil tankers to damage the main energy link to Estonia. The connections were believed to be damaged by anchors dragged across the cables. This energy grid was the last tie the Baltic states had with Russia, and switching to European power only acted to expand the rift of the Soviet legacy. The new links connect to Finland, Sweden, and Poland as these countries serve to provide more power than the Baltics can do for themselves. EU Chief Ursula von der Leyen said, quote, "Today history is made. This is freedom, freedom from threats, freedom from blackmail," end quote.
A local river near Buenos Aires in Argentina has become to turn blood red and smell of foul garbage. Many factories and tanning plants in the surrounding area may be to blame. Potential chemical waste and runoff from these buildings could be reaching the water system, flooding it with chemicals, and turning it that unnatural color. This is not the first this has happened, though. As residents from the area report in past years, the waterway has changed many other colors like green, blue, and purple. For now, the reason why the weather has changed colors is still unknown, but samples are out for analysis.
The hostage exchange between Israel and Hamas this week has been postponed, which may affect the progress of their ceasefire deal. The halt came from Hamas laying humanitarian aid to Gaza, denying the return of displaced Palestinians, and continuing to fire despite the agreement. Spokesperson for Hamas states they won't release hostages until Israel, quote, abides by its obligations. Israeli Defense Minister Israel Katz commented that the announcement is, quote, a complete violation of the ceasefire agreement and the hostage release deal, end quote, and has ordered their military to be ready for an escalation. This is followed by protests in Israel against the pause and the release of Israeli hostages. While both parties are open to continuing this exchange, this is an example of the fragility of the deal and possible foreshadowing of further tensions once the deal expires in March. After the break, hear about Trump's actions towards removing board members and chiefs from various organizations and the effects of his previous orders on LGBTQ families and the prison system. Don't go away.
Welcome back. First, we're starting with breaking news.
A plane crash occurred in Arizona, killing one person and leaving 3 people seriously injured. The Learjet owned by Motley Crue's Vince Neil, who was not on board at the time, crashed into a parked plane at the Scottsdale airport. Authorities cited the problem as failed landing gear.
In other news, Google Maps has officially changed the previously named Gulf of Mexico to Gulf of America. The name change will be in effect in all nations. In America and Cuba, the title will be Gulf of America. In Mexico, the title will be Gulf of Mexico. And to other nations, both titles will appear. Friday evening, President Donald Trump's administration revealed the abrupt removal of the United States head of National Archives, Colleen Shogan. The conversation of the dismissal of the head of archives was initially brought up in recent years regarding a raid that happened in Trump's Mar-a-Lago home in 2022, where FBI agents searched the home looking for classified documents as part of an investigation into the unethical handling of presidential documents. Colleen Shogan, however, only began serving as the archivist in 2023 and was not at the National Archives amidst the raids. Trump has been critical of the National Archives for a while now. Just last month, he said in an interview with radio host Hugh Hewitt that the previous archivist in place during the Mar-a-Lago raid, David Ferrero, quote, was a disaster, end quote. Although Shogun was previously made aware that President Trump had plans to replace her position as archivist, she claims that she did not expect her removal to happen as soon as Friday, and she was shocked when she was notified. Colleen Shogun was the first woman to hold the post as head and chief administrator of NARA and previously served as senior vice president and director of the David M. Rubenstein Center at the White House Historical Association. Despite the decision to replace Shogun, White House Director of Presidential Personnel, Sergio Gore, took to X to graciously thank her for her service.
This past Saturday, a missing plane was found crashed on ice in Juneau, Alaska. The Cessna Caravan plane left Unalakleet on Thursday, February 6, when it lost contact with officials an hour later. Radar forensic data provided by the U.S. Civil Air Patrol indicated that the plane had an event that caused rapid loss in elevation and speed. The cause of that is unknown. Conditions were foggy with light snow, and the plane was expected to land in the hub community of Nome. There were no distress signals from the aircraft received by the Coast Guard. Local, state, and federal agencies aided in the search for the plane. The plane was found crashed on the ice of the Bering Sea. All 9 passengers, including the pilot, have died. The Nome Volunteer Fire Department made the announcement on Saturday, February 8th. This is the 4th major U.S. aviation mishap that has occurred within 8 days. It was one of the deadliest crashes in the state within the last 25 years. Nome Mayor John Handeland choked up while discussing the deaths and response efforts. There were prayer vigils and ceremonies held in place for those that died and those who helped with the search. Trump has appointed and rejected multiple high-ranking positions in government organizations, and the Kennedy Center is not exempt. Learn about who will be affected by this possible change of faculty and why this might take place with reporter Alyssa Mandarak. Alyssa?
That's right, Jules. President Donald Trump has taken to social media to declare that he will fire members of the Kennedy Center Board of Trustees and that he will rename himself as the chairman. He has also posted his desire to cancel drag shows, claiming that they're targeting our youth. His reasoning behind the apparent takeover follows his perception that the center does not align with the, quote, vision for a golden age in arts and culture, end quote. The website for the Kennedy Center has since published a statement saying, quote, the Kennedy Center is aware of the post made recently by POTUS on social media. We have received no official communications from the White House regarding changes to our Board of Trustees. We are aware that some members of our board have received termination notices from our president, end quote. The president of a national drag artist network, Black Dynamite, claims, quote, this is about who gets to exist in public spaces and whose stories get to be told on America's stage, end quote. Their statement included that banning an art expression is simply censorship. The John F. Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts has been a catalyst in the arts for decades. They promote music, dance, drama, and other forms of art. Since the center's foundation, it has been a means to fulfill a mission of culture and provide arts education opportunities across the country.
A memo sent out on the 5th by the Attorney General's office is seeking to bring back the death penalty nationwide. The memo included 5 key points. First, the unsuspicion of federal execution review. Second, the unexpectation for the death penalty to be applied for deaths of law officers, capital crimes by illegal aliens, all drug-related crimes, non-drug-related crimes by the cartel, transnational criminal groups, and illegal aliens living in the U.S. Third, any capital between January 20th, 2021 and January 19th, 2025, not yet convicted, will be reevaluated to see whether the death penalty applies. Fourth, strengthening the death penalty and potentially reviewing forms of execution within the prison system. Finally, the Attorney General will be assisting states in implementing the death penalty, including resources for maintaining state.
On the first day of President Trump's second term as president, he signed an executive order affecting transgender and non-binary rights. As a result, people in the transgender community are retaliating against President Trump's executive action. On Friday, these executive orders were challenged by the courts. People in the transgender community sued the new executive orders in Boston that addresses gender identity on passports. The transgender community says that the policy change was sudden and did not comply with the 60-day notice and comment period. Other families in Baltimore sued the federal court for these executive orders in a different lawsuit. The major concern of these families is the right to health care, which 26 states are already restricting. The Supreme Court still has to rule if a ban on care is constitutional. Washington State Attorney General Nick Brown stated, quotes, that order poses is immediately a threat to young people all across Washington State and to the medical professionals in Washington who provide much needed health care, end quote. Coming up after the break, hear about a new program in Pittsburgh that will aid residents with non-emergency situations and in turn lessen police calls. And a pizza shop that has a less than conventional practice on Valentine's Day. Stay tuned.
Over the weekend, Stephanie Gagne, a management analyst for the city of Pittsburgh, announced the availability of a new system called PGH 311 that allows Pittsburgh residents to report any issues they see in their neighborhoods. The new and improved system is replacing the old system known as MyBurg. PGH 311 is for non-emergencies and can be reported through the website or an app. On the app, residents can request the service department they need, and they can upload pictures of an issue they're experiencing and include the location so it's easy for city officials to see where it is and how bad it might be. The city of Pittsburgh said its biggest upgrade is that the request will include a resolution estimate timeline to guarantee it's not going to be ignored. The new system is meant to be extremely user-friendly compared to the old system, which proved to be unnecessarily complicated. According to Gagne, they have spent a lot of time narrowing down options for residents so it's very clear to them what requests they should be filling out while reporting a problem, as well as internally what department needs to be dispatched or contacted to resolve the issue. In an interview, Stephanie Gagne said, "We're really excited about the system upgrades to 311. This has been a long time coming. I believe we have had our old system for about a decade, so it is very outdated." Hopefully this new addition will bring positive changes to the city of Pittsburgh. Winter isn't over yet, and this Butler County event wants to bring seasonal joy to local families. Reporter Leslie Krebs has the scoop. Leslie?
I'm here in Butler County at the Moraine State Park at this year's 2025 Winterfest, being hosted by the Moraine Preservation Fund.
At this year's Winterfest, there was a variety of vendors ranging from food, local crafts, and even live music. Some of the performers included local musician The Chad and Well-Strung Bluegrass. A selection of vendors included craftsmen of all kinds, like Silver Maple Ceramics and Two Pops Bakery. Besides food and crafts, there also were plenty of other events to check out, such as horse-drawn wagon rides, disc golf, and chainsaw carving. Finally, there was a new addition to this year's festival, the new inaugural soup contest. Visitors could taste up to 7 soups from restaurants in the surrounding area and vote for who was the best. We even got to speak with the event organizer and vice president of Moraine Preservation Fund, Cassandra Dixon, on what Winterfest is really all about.
So today is Winterfest here at Marine State Park. It's an event that we host annually. The Marine Preservation Fund is a small nonprofit organization that we're looking to just bring people to the park in the wintertime to remind folks that it's a 4-season park. You should come here all year round to enjoy it.
Reporting from Butler County for UV Television, I'm Leslie Krebs.
Not looking forward to Valentine's Day? Well, a local pizza shop has a deal that will be sure to make you feel special. Leechburg Pizza Company is offering specials and a unique promotion for Valentine's Day. If you got divorced within this past year and bring the papers into the shop, you can get $20 off your order. This promotion runs alongside specials on personal pizzas and 6-inch hoagies. The owners, Jamie and Steve Sengen, told KDKA, quote, "We do believe in love. We've been together for 19 years. And we've known each other since we were 5-ish. But there are plenty of people who don't, and there should be someone both looking out for them and cooking for them," end quote. This is the 3rd year in a row this couple held this promotion, and it has been growing in popularity each year. If this isn't your favorite holiday, or if you're just looking for some comfort food, they're open 11 to 8 p.m. daily.
Last week, Pittsburgh Mayor Ed Gainey announced that his chief of staff, Jake Wheatley, resigned from his position. While addressing the resignation in a press release, Mayor Gainey said, quote, "Jake has made extremely important contributions to my administration and the people of Pittsburgh," end quote. The mayor also announced that former Chief Economic Development Officer Kyle Chintalopoli will replace Wheatley as chief of staff. The city said Chintanopoli will oversee public relations and strategic initiatives while also focusing on advancing the mayor's housing agenda.
The Allegheny County Elections Division announced the winner of their first I Voted sticker contest. Molly Bozick, a sophomore student at Mount Lebanon High School, will have her design that says, "I voted in that," on the stickers that our county passes out after the public votes in this year's primary election in May. The contest was launched in the fall and was open to high school students in our area. The county said they reached over 3 dozen submissions, and they narrowed it down to 10 before inviting the public to vote on their favorite design. The sticker will also be used in elections through 2025 and 2026. Congratulations, Molly. And when we come back, a Make-A-Wish recipient fulfilled his dream and helped fund the dreams of others with a special dish. And, of course, your weekly weather. Stick around.
Take them, cue them, open their mics.
Today marked the 1-year anniversary of the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette strike.
Point Park University just hosted a campus-wide meeting.
Plans for the rapid transit bus line are not set to conclude until 2025.
A 9-year-old heart transplant recipient is defying all the odds and has started selling crab cake sandwiches to raise money for the Make-A-Wish program. Prince Wise, the creator of these crab cakes, created his signature dish with the help of a professional chef at the Fairmont Hotel, Fernando Canales. Prince expressed, quote, "It's like one of my dreams to make real food with a chef," end quote. The dish, which went by the name of Prince's Crab Cakes Sandwich and Fries, was available on Floor Choose lunch, brunch, and dinner menus for a limited time with 10% off all sales going toward Make-A-Wish's Greater Pennsylvania and West Virginia. In the end, the restaurant sold 583 crab cake sandwiches and raised $1,259 for the Make-A-Wish program. The restaurant also gave Prince a Chiefs hat and an apron with his name on it, as well as a set of children's cooking knives. The moment we've all been waiting for, is Pittsburgh finally getting warmer? The answer is no, but to what degree? First-time weather reporter Angelo Esposito will tell us all. Angelo?
Thanks, Ruthie. That's right, tomorrow and this week aren't showing any signs of getting warmer, but luckily we won't see any temperatures in the negatives. Tomorrow's weather will be cold and rainy, ranging between 35 and 37 degrees, and a real feel around 29 degrees. Watch your step, because there may be puddles of water or ice to slip on, as throughout the day there will be showers of freezing rain and winds up to 10 miles per hour. If it was because of today's weather, make sure to grab a coat and non-slip shoes for what's to come. And what's to come is, unsurprisingly, more rain. On Thursday, it will continue to shower with wider range of temperatures, with the high being 48 degrees and the low reaching 19 degrees. Friday will be the calm before the storm, literally. The day will mostly cloudy before Saturday and Sunday, bringing more rain and wet snow. So if you have any Valentine's Day plans, make sure to dress appropriately. Giving your jacket to your partner is only fun in movies. Monday and Tuesday of next week will be relatively dry, but cold, with Monday reaching a low of 14 degrees and Tuesday bringing small snow showers and a low of 19 degrees. Make sure to check the weather, especially this weekend, for any following updates on the slew of rain ahead. Now, back to the desk.
Thank you for tuning into this episode of NewsNight. If you want to see more, check out our social media pages on both Facebook and Instagram at UView Television.
You can also check out more episodes on our YouTube channel or our website, uview.pointpark.edu. I'm Juliana Brock.
And I'm Ruthie Light. From everyone here at NewsNight, thank you for watching and have a great evening.